So this one here is a stylish futuristic racing game. Just think F-Zero or Extreme G, but in futuristic racing exosuits instead of ships or bikes. You get Kinetica. I've heard and played this game from the PlayStation Underground Gem Pack demos, specifically the Winter 2001 edition. This is where I discovered some real hidden gems for this very system, and own a few games from it. It's where I first heard about the Jak and Daxter series, Tony Hawk, Dynasty Warriors, Final Fantasy, and SSX. Anyways, if anyone has the ROM for either the Gem Pack Summer 2001 or Winter 2001 demos, would you let me know? Damn things are quite elusive to find, and it's nowhere on Mimu Paradise or Love ROMs. The one link to Winter 2001 ROM was available at one point, but the link is dead. Real dead. Now let me tell you a story about me in this game, because this goes way back. Okay, a little back. But this takes up the whole entire video. Kinetica in particular is the one game I have in my mind ever since playing the demo from the Gem Pack disc. It's one of the several games that my childhood didn't fully enjoy. So when I had my hands on a computer, and later discovered emulation during the summer of 2010, the first game I downloaded was not Kinetica, but Zelda Majora's Mask on Project 64 1.6. I was playing a console game on a keyboard, which seemed pretty alien to me, but I got the hang of it after playing several more games. Then I tried a PlayStation 2 emulator, until I realized that it's a fucking huge download for one PS2 game. This is where I have to tell you that I don't have Wi-Fi at home exactly. I go to the local library with my 2GB stick to download things. Later at the start of 2012, my family finally have our own Wi-Fi, and I get on that shit quickly. So I tried to download the game successfully, and I simply noticed that the game runs like shit. Until I realized on my PC, the Dell Inspiron 530, running on Windows Vista, isn't capable to run a PS2 emulator in general. I was disappointed. I heard about building PCs, but this damn thing is so old, what's the point? So when I turned 18, I have my new laptop as a graduation/birthday present, and it was originally an Asus computer. But the damn thing stopped working after a couple days, until it was replaced with my glorious Acer Aspire PC. The PlayStation 2 emulation is more serviceable, but not enough. So I had no other choice to give up. Then, I noticed that my older sister had a PS2. So it wasn't that simple. I had the opportunity to babysit her kid/my niece for a few days to get my reward, which I told her to bring the PS2. Now I finally have the console, with a few games included, and fuck! There's no AV cables. One trip to Amazon plus a week later, BAM! I got the damn thing working. Now I'm playing some Gran Turismo 3 for the first time in around 6 years. Now in April in the following year, I went to town with my dad, thrifting and shit, until we stumbled upon a pawn shop, and there it was. A copy of Rayman Advance, the game that introduced me to the limitless hero I know and love. But seriously, and there it was. A full copy of Kinetica, complete with manual and art book. I knew that the time is right and the planets are aligned, so I bought the damn thing and head straight home with Kinetica, along with SOCOM Navy SEALs, Need for Speed Underground 2, and Max Payne. And I get on that shit quicker than Sonic after snoring on a mountain's speed. I have finally played the full game after 15.5 years since release. Fully legit, no emulation, just a disc in the console. Then I realized that I could just buy it from the PSN store with a higher resolution and trophies for $10. Pfft, nah. That was then, but this is now. It's a unique racing game with intricate level designs that goes in all directions, and even in space. It's also a tough game to master, like its handling for instance. As a kid, I got my ass handed quite a lot in the demo, Now, as a 20-year-old with some experience via poor emulation, I could understand the controls quite better. You have to bust tricks by holding the R1 button and fiddle around with the left analog stick to get boost, or siphon boost pads by holding the circle button to use it for later. You collect several crystals for power-ups that may or may not help you during the race, like various boost power-ups or the super attack. Turning is something you gotta get used to. I mean, this ain't Auto Modelista, but if you turn too hard, you start to skid around and start slamming into walls. But you can easily prevent that by defying the laws of physics, using the boost. But that's only you have any juice left. The most interesting aspect of this very game are the 9 characters, plus their alternates. They're human inside of the robotic looking outfits dubbed Kinetic suits. Pretty unique, I have to say, despite being faceless for the most part. But if you beat a season with one of them, you get to see their faces behind the suits. Then, the engine is named after this very game, and is used in quite a lot of the majority of games, such as War of the Monsters, Twisted Metal Black, and even the God of War series. Sadly, my copy doesn't work anymore, but I did manage to beat the game 100% before it did. Well, until I fixed the PS2's laser, which is a devil's job to do without breaking it. I mean, trust me, I'm not a technician, but I do build bikes for a living. The downside of this game is that it's pretty short on content. I mean, there's 3 seasons and 15 tracks. But then again, the previous entry, Starsky and Hutch, had 3 seasons with 18 levels, but that had some variety. Some of the levels look absolutely fantastic, while some of which are pretty shallow, and it's something that fits more in an F-Zero game. Busting tricks is quite cumbersome, but not as bad as MX Rider from what I recall. I mean, you can bust a nice combo by jerking around with the analog stick, and then some asshole ending your combo by bumping into you. One more note is that it's too difficult for newcomers, as the opponents could bust tricks, boost, and do anything to reach first place as much as you do. And they're assholes. Kinetica is something that's worth checking out if you're into unique racing games, and I recommend either buying it from the PSN store or a physical copy. Don't get this game if you're prone to motion sickness, because you'll be driving over the walls, under ceilings, into your mom, and other things. Now I forgot to mention the soundtrack. It's fucking good. Also nice ass.